believe this is yours.
Thank you. Come again.
Sorry. Go back to your seat.
They understand. Bradley, I've told you a million times, leave Ravi alone. And the importance of the Chinese.
Bradley and Bernard are the kind of bullies everyone at school knows by name. They make it their daily mission to torment Ravi. One afternoon in the cafeteria, they throw milk straight into his face, laughing like it is the funniest thing in the world. Ravi quietly picks up the carton and places it back on their table, but that only fuels them more. They continue mocking him, even hurling racial insults without hesitation. The harassment does not stop there. In class, Bradley keeps hitting Ravi again and again until the teacher finally steps in and tells him to move and stop causing trouble. But instead of backing down, Bradley simply switches seats with Bernard and continues bothering Ravi from the same seat Bradley had just been sitting in. Neither of them realizes that they are pushing something far more dangerous than they can imagine. This is where everything begins. This is the final. The story then shifts to a restaurant that seems completely normal at first. The atmosphere is calm, almost ordinary. That is, until a girl walks in wearing a hoodie, her hair carefully covering part of her face. Beneath it, she hides a disturbing scar. People around her cannot help staring. Some look curious, some sympathetic, others openly uncomfortable, and she notices every single glance. The tension builds until she suddenly snaps, flipping over tables and chairs, telling them they do not need to stare at her. Then, overwhelmed with embarrassment, she rushes out of the restaurant.
Do you want that burger done?
Why does that girl's face look like that? Did she get into an accident?
Yes. Eat your food.
Stop looking at me!
Elsewhere at school, three popular girls walk through the hallway, excitedly talking about an upcoming costume party. When they run into Emily, they instantly start teasing her, reminding her that she was not invited. Hurt and humiliated, Emily quietly walks away.
I got us the hottest costumes for the party.
There's that emo bitch, Emily. Let's talk with her.
Oh my God, you're not gonna cry, are you? We were invited and you were not? Oh, come on, it'll be so much fun.
In another part of town, two teenage boys are hanging out behind a house that backs into the woods. Jack sits playing a banjo, while Dane checks on a bear trap nearby. They go to the same school and are friends with Ravi. Not long after, an older man named Parker approaches them. He asks Dane about Workley. Dane explains that he is Workley's nephew and that his uncle passed away 8 months ago, leaving the house to him. Hearing this, Parker is visibly shaken. He and Workley once fought together in Vietnam, and the news clearly hits him hard.
That plan of yours, it's never gonna work. What you need are cage traps.
Thanks.
The next day at school, Emily, Ravi, and a few others sit together in the cafeteria, whispering and planning something that seems inspired by the horror movies they love to watch. Across the room, Bradley and his group of troublemakers are gathered as well. They once again target Ravi and his friends, this time throwing milk onto their table. Ravi does not fight back. He simply places the milk carton back on their table. Soon after, a student named Curtis joins them. Unlike the others, Curtis has always stayed neutral. He has never bullied Ravi or his friends. In fact, he invites them to visit his small studio sometime.
I believe this is yours.
I just got my first commercial TV gig. All right, so I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right, y'all. What's up? Hey, look, I just want you guys to come out.
I like Curtis.
Make sure he doesn't make the party.
That night, Emily sits alone, writing in her diary. The way she writes feels heavy, almost like she is leaving behind a final message.
One final night.
You've been very quiet lately.
Yes, everything's fine.
The first time, and I'm not afraid.
The next day in the school restroom, Ravi is bullied once again by Bradley and Bernard. This time it goes even further when Bradley destroys Ravi's camera. Not long after, Dane steps in and tries to help. Unfortunately, he is no match for Bradley, who is much stronger physically. Dane can only watch as things spiral out of control.
Let me clean the lens off real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, man.
Oh, snap! On for his terrace, so what you
Give it back.
Looks like
Get the fuck out of here.
The following day in the cafeteria, Curtis is sitting with Ravi when he suddenly decides to confront Bradley. He asks him to stop harassing Ravi and the others. But Bradley is stubborn and easily offended. He reacts aggressively, and a fight quickly breaks out.
I could not get the camera to work.
Man, don't trip, bro. It's not your fault. Look, man, you better leave my boy alone.
It becomes clear that the tension at school is only getting worse, And it is not just school that is a problem. At home, these so-called outcasts receive little attention or care. Take Jack, for example. When he tries to say goodbye before leaving the house, his father barely acknowledges him. That kind of neglect slowly builds something darker inside them, something that begins to take shape. Before long, the group finally puts their plan into motion. The costume party invitation that Bradley and his friends received turns out to be a trap. The party is organized by Dane and will take place at Workley's old house, the one Dane inherited. At one point, Dane brings Jack into a separate room and shows him weapons left behind by his uncle, a former Vietnam veteran. Those weapons are meant to be part of the surprise waiting for Bradley and the others. Eventually, the long-awaited party night arrives. Before carrying out their plan, Dane and the others take a moment to pray, asking for forgiveness for what they are about to do. Soon the troublemakers begin to gather at the house. Even though Curtis was not invited, he shows up anyway. His presence makes Ravi hesitate, but Dane insists they stick to the plan. Even if Curtis is not their main target, they cannot let him leave. Meanwhile, Emily quietly begins her part of the plan by slipping something into the drinks and handing them out to the guests. Within minutes, the effects start to kick in. One by one, the guests collapse. That is when Ravi and the others change into costumes and collect all the car keys to make sure no one can escape.
Shit, man, Curtis is here.
Let me go talk to him. Well, then fate brought him here.
Don't stop, baby, keep it moving.
After everything is secured, Emily wakes them up. When the bullies regain consciousness, they are confused and terrified. Their hands and feet are chained. Dane, now leading the masked group, makes it clear that they are going to suffer. At first, one of the boys thinks it is all just a prank and mocks them. The others laugh along, thinking it is still some kind of joke. But when Dane orders Jack to step forward and attack the boy with a gas shot, the mood changes instantly. The laughter dies. It is no longer a game.
Get up, sleepyheads. This is about what you are due. We don't plan to kill you. You will wish we had.
That's what I said to your mom last night.
Some of you will be spared, but you will all bear witness to the horror.
Jack drags the boy away into a locked room, and the nightmare truly begins. At one point, Dane does something unexpected. He asks if anyone wants to leave. One of the captives raises his hand. His name is Tommy. He promises his girlfriend Clara that if he gets out, he will find help and come back for the others. Dane lets him go, but the moment Tommy steps outside, he realizes it was never that simple. 3 masked men on ATVs start hunting him down, firing at him as he runs through the woods. He tries to escape, but suddenly his leg snaps into a bear trap. It turns out the trap was planted in advance as part of the plan. Tommy is captured and dragged back inside, thrown into a locked room with the previous victim.
I'll go get help for you guys.
That's a spear, Tommy. Go get him.
Back in the main room, Bradley finally breaks down. The boy who always acted tough is now crying, looking nothing like the fearless bully everyone knew. Dane announces that they are about to provide some entertainment. Ravi, dressed as a clown, approaches Bernard and forces him to drink a prepared liquid. Bernard resists, but Ravi stabs him and pours the liquid into his mouth. Bernard begins to convulse violently. Then Emily steps in. She takes over and repeatedly injects Bernard in the chest and neck until he dies.
Messed up, man.
Enough! Please stop.
His body is later moved into storage. The violence is no longer symbolic, it is real. The group continues their control over the captives. Andy patrols the area with an axe, making sure no one tries to escape. But in a quiet moment, Curtis manages to free himself from his chains and makes a run for it. Unknown to most of them, Ravi had quietly dropped a key near Curtis. Ravi remembered that Curtis was the only one who ever stood up for him. Dane quickly realizes what happened. To him, it is betrayal. Without hesitation, he turns on Ravi and kills him.
We were the only ones who stood up for you.
Who's the only one who ever stood up for me?
At that point, something inside Dane fully shifts. He no longer cares about friendship or loyalty. Emily is shaken by what Dane has done. She cannot understand why he would kill one of their own. Dane insists it was a consequence for breaking their rules. Meanwhile, Curtis is still running through the woods, chased by 3 guards stationed outside. He finally encounters a police officer and tries to explain that people are trying to kill him. The officer does not believe him. Moments later, the officer is shot by the pursuing men, and Curtis is forced to run again.
What the fuck? Hey, stay back!
They're killing people back there!
Who is killing people?
Back inside the house, the next target is Hyder, one of the popular girls from school. She is restrained to a chair, her hands and feet bound, a ball gag in her mouth. Emily smears her face with a chemical cream meant to destroy her skin. Watching all of this, Bradley finally snaps. He can no longer handle what is happening. He accuses them of being cowards hiding behind masks. Dane responds by revealing something much darker. He says they are the monsters Bradley helped create. Then Dane removes his mask, shocking the captives. The boy they used to bully is standing right in front of them, no longer a victim. Meanwhile, Curtis manages to escape the 3 men chasing him on motorcycles and stumbles upon a nearby house. Desperate for help, he rushes to the door and knocks. The house belongs to Parker, the neighbor and former war buddy of Dane's uncle Workley. When Parker opens the door, he immediately points a gun at Curtis. Curtis tries to explain what is happening, but Parker does not believe him. Instead of listening, Parker orders him to turn around and then knocks him unconscious. Back at the house where the captives are being held, Bradley is now begging Emily not to hurt him. One of the girls, Bridget, realizes she knows who is behind the mask and guesses that it is Emily. At that point, Emily removes her mask. Andy and Jack follow, revealing their faces as well. The bullies finally understand why all of this is happening. Bridget quickly apologizes to Emily for everything she has done in the past. She asks them to release her friends. But even after the apologies, Emily and the others refuse. If anything, Emily seems even more determined to carry out her revenge. She forces Bridget to harm Bradley's hand. Bridget cannot bring herself to do it, so Emily turns to Bradley and offers him a choice. If he harms Bridget's hand, he might survive. Without hesitation, Bradley goes through with it.
I have to.
Then Emily gives Bridget the same choice in reverse, telling her to hurt Bradley's hand. Bridget refuses again. Furious, Emily smears the same dangerous chemical cream onto Bridget's face. Even as the pain begins to set in, Bridget still refuses to hurt Bradley. Elsewhere, Curtis regains consciousness and finds himself tied to a chair. He continues trying to convince Parker that everything he said is true. After hearing the full story, Parker finally realizes that the location Curtis mentioned is Workley's old house, now owned by Dane. The name shocks Curtis too, since he is friends with Dane.
I don't know how to prove it to you, sir, but I'm telling you the truth.
Dane is a nice kid.
Dane.
Parker decides to check it out himself. On the way through the woods, he triggers one of the traps set around the property. One of the armed guards approaches and aims a weapon at him. But Parker is a former Vietnam veteran. He reacts quickly and kills the guard without hesitation. At the same time, Curtis manages to free himself from the chair. He calls the police and rushes back toward the house to save his friends. Inside, Bradley's punishment begins. Dane takes on the role himself. His hatred toward Bradley has been building for a long time. Now he acts on it. Dane deliberately cuts into Bradley's spine, intending to leave him permanently paralyzed.
Please don't hurt me.
If I throw the chair, instantly paralyzed.
Not long after, Curtis runs into Parker again. This time, Parker apologizes for not believing him earlier. He admits he made a mistake. Curtis understands. He says that if he were in Parker's position, he probably would not have believed the story either. With that settled, Curtis heads back toward the house to save his friends. Inside, the violence is about to continue. A boy named Rick is chosen as the next target. The group plans to cut out his tongue. But before they can carry it out, Curtis bursts in and points a gun at Dane, demanding that they stop. Dane refuses. He tells Curtis that he was never part of this, that he was never invited, and that he should not interfere. Curtis makes it clear he is willing to shoot if they do not back down. Dane does not seem afraid. In his mind, they never planned to survive this night anyway. Dane orders Andy to go ahead and carry out the punishment. Curtis reacts instantly and shoots Andy. Dane grabs a weapon and fires back, hitting Curtis. As Dane prepares to finish him off, something unexpected happens. Emily shoots Dane. The room falls into chaos.
Let him go. Don't make me kill you, Dane.
Dad, you've been my friend a long time, but I can't let you do this.
You weren't invited to this party. We shouldn't have come.
Yeah, well, I got an issue with you. I don't like being shot at.
I suggest you turn around and leave, Curtis.
Eddie, do it!
Emily turns to everyone and explains that they are all responsible for what happened tonight. Deep down, she admits, she just wanted to have friends. That was all she ever wanted. Then she hands the gun to Jack. She turns around and Jack shoots her. Almost at the same time, police sirens grow louder outside. Officers rush in and order Jack to drop the weapon. Instead, Jack lifts the gun to his own head. He believes it is already too late. Moments later, he pulls the trigger.
We're all responsible.
Freeze!
You're too late.
In the aftermath, reporters cover the horrifying tragedy that shook the school. Curtis survives, though he is wounded in the shoulder, and the girl with the disfigured face from the beginning of the film is revealed to be Bridget. With that final reveal, the story comes to an end. So the moral of the story is, if someone invites you to a fun costume party in a creepy inherited house with bear traps and horror movie vibes, just stay home and watch Netflix.